time has come to finally get rid of these factory OEM headlights. I know in the past I've done a bunch of E90 headlights, like the first version on the E91 and then the second one on the diesel. This time we're going to do it on F chassis, aka my F80. These are factory 2015 pre-LCI headlights. Adaptive xenon or LED, whatever they are, I don't know. The thing that I hate about these is, for one, there's chrome in there, and then there's an orange bulb that looks absolutely disgusting. I don't actually mind the projectors. I think they look pretty good. And then the inside portion actually looks good as well. It's just the outer portion and also where these eyelids are, there's fading going on. That's why the eyelids are back on, because the car, when I first bought it, had eyelids, but they're completely faded out. Same thing with this side, there's an eyelid. As far as light output, I mean, they're great because obviously they're OEM, but I wanted to change, let me walk back. I wanted to change the front end look a little bit on the car and also test out these new headlights that we got, which are these. So these are the same. They have projector on both inner and outer, and they also have like I guess a blue light that's supposed to mimic the new laser lights. Besides that, everything else on the inside is black. You have a little bit of the chrome here, and then obviously the chrome strip on top. It does say adaptive LED. Not sure if it's adaptive LED, but we'll find out. And then if you look in here, there's a moisture pack in there to prevent condensation, because aftermarket headlights have a tendency of building condensation inside. So that's supposed to fix it and make it where it doesn't sweat inside. We also have two LED strips here, one here and one here. Like I said, it's supposed to mimic the new G chassis headlights. I think they look really good as far as just the design overall. I'm not sure about the blue here, and I think the blue lights up. There is a way of turning them off, which I will leave in the description how to turn them off if you are interested. I'm gonna keep them on just to see how it looks, but there's a way to turn them off completely so you don't get in trouble with the law, because obviously in the US it's not what's the word, basically it's against the law to have any kind of blue or red, obviously for obvious reasons. So besides that, all the mounting hardware is already here. I think the only thing I have to transfer is this one. These are here. You have the adjusters in the back. One here, one here. There's module, and there's no mounting hardware on the bottom, so I do have to transfer those over as well. As far as the headlights go, there is different options that we do offer on the website. This is just one of them. I will link different products as far as different headlight options for this car and just F chassis in general, as far as F32, F30, F36, F80, F82, things like that. So this is the one that I went with, but there's other options. You can go with OEM style. If you have something wrong with your headlights, you can also replace them with OEM style. There's also Icon, what's it called, replica headlights as well. If you don't want to pay, you know, $4,000 for headlights, that's another alternative. So I'll leave the links down below for all the products, and yeah. So for those that are new to the channel and you haven't seen the F80, these are also the taillights that I installed previously. I figured I'd show you guys since it's a lighting video. This is also an option for your F80, F30. These are G30 style taillights. I think they look a little bit better than GTS. I mean, obviously there's LCI, OEM, things like that, but figured I'd try something different. They do look pretty cool when it's nighttime because all you see is the strip. You don't see the rest of the tail light, so it looks pretty aggressive. So if you guys are interested in these as well, I'll leave the link down below for these. So besides that, let's get to the install of the headlights. So as far as the install goes, there's a weather strip here, which is on the table. You have to remove that, and then you have access to these bolts up top, all the way to that side. And then you're done up top. You don't have to do anything up top. Then you have to come here. There's the fender liner. You have to like pull it out, or you just remove the whole fender liner, up to you. I'm not gonna remove the whole fender liner. And then there's 8 mils right up here. There's 2 of them, I believe. So you take those off, you remove the fender liner or push it out of the way. And then underneath, you'll get to the, this guy. Mine is kind of modified because of the front lip. And then you also have the, depending on your car, I have the Turner skid plate, but you're gonna have probably a plastic piece. If you have an F30, it's gonna be a whole entire, what's it called? Whole entire under tray that's made out of like fabric or whatever. So you take that off. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off because it's attached to my front lip. Hopefully I don't have to remove the front lip because I would be really pissed if I do. Besides that, you have, depending on your car, you're gonna have PDC sensors or not. And then there's a camera right here, which I don't have, obviously because of my carbon piece. And windshield washer system. But we'll get to that after we take off everything. Ta-da! So I will show you guys, or describe you guys, how to take this off. Since I don't have anybody to hold the camera, you have to take off this hose from this if you have windshield washer on a F80, F30. I don't know exactly if the F30 has that. I think it does. I don't know. Also, this is a camera. Plug looks like this. And then there's a plug here for your PDC. So camera on F80s is right here, right next to where the reflector is. Same thing here. And then you have the harness for your PDC sensors right here, which is all gonna be on the passenger side. Driver's side, you just have to unplug one sensor. You don't have to take off the windshield washer nozzle, because as you can see, it looks like you have to remove it. Like on the E90s, you do have to pop the cap off. On this car, you don't. And then as far as taking off the bumper, like I said, you gotta remove these so-called pork chops. Mine are destroyed. Which are located right around here, this area, right underneath the oil cooler, or radiator, sorry. And then there's 8 mils right there and there on both sides of the bumper. And obviously this is loose. So you don't have to necessarily take it off. You can push it out of the way to get to the bolts. But some people take it off. I don't take it off because that's too much work. And then there's also hardware, depending on what kind of setup you have, hardware on the rock guard or the panel that's underneath that destroys your oil cooler. Highly recommend this Turner aluminum one, because if you ever hit something, at least it protects your oil cooler and you don't drain your oil out. And besides that, everything else is just self-explanatory. After you remove all the hardware, pull it off. Make sure you get it off these tabs, because these tabs are inserted in. And then you have the whole bumper off. So now you're gonna go ahead and remove the headlights, which is gonna be this screw. That screw. And I don't know. I will let you know after I take it off. All right. So to remove the headlight, this is what you have to do. There's a bolt here, T30. Bolt here, T30. There's a bracket here that there's a 10 mil that goes from the interior not from the outside. So you have to put, I don't know, some kind of ratcheting wrench or something like that through here, or like I did, take off the fender liner. Don't be a dumbass like me. There's only 4 bolts. And the only reason I took that off is because I couldn't get access to this bolt, which on the headlight is right there. So there's this one, and there's that one. Then you have this bracket, 10 mil. And there's a, depending on your setup, T30. In my case, it was a dress-up bolt like this with this bracket. So besides that, everything else is good. So now I just have to take off this headlight and then go ahead and test out the new one on this side. So I didn't take the side off because I wanted to show you guys this. Ta-da! Obviously it's not mounted all the way. It does have to be adjusted. From this to this. And as far as these blue lights, so these blue lights do light up in the middle. If you open this cap up here, sorry, this cap sits right here. You open the cap, there's gonna be a blue wire, don't touch that. There's gonna be a red wire, and red and black. So this one, if you disconnect the wire, your blue lights will turn off. So obviously, if you don't want to get in trouble with the law, you go ahead and disconnect that and you don't have blue lights turn on. So let me show you guys what they look like on. Ta-da! So it's not really visible right now, but the blue lights are on, and you have an amber up top. If you look at this, you got 2 lights on. If you look at this, you got only 1 light on, and you have the ring, and you have the clear top strip. Here we have amber, you got the DRLs, and you got the low beam and the high beam technically on with the blue rings. So let me go ahead and turn off the high beams and low beams. So that's what it would look like as far as daytime running lights. Amber turns off, the DRL stay on, and the blue lights stay on. And like I said previously, if you want the blue lights off, this is the plug to unplug them. All you have to do is just unplug. These lights do say adaptive LED. Highly doubt it. So, because I did get a warning for adaptive headlights, we're gonna have to figure out what to do with that until after we install everything. Okay.
That shit looking huge.
What's up with them blue lights though?
I don't know what you're talking about. They're green.
Okay there. Okay. We'll pretend that's green. So let me go ahead and install that side, and I guess do the adjustment. The adjustment process takes a while, so I'm not gonna show that on camera. Obviously, like here, the gap has to be perfect. The gap between the bumper has to be perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that off camera, and then I'll show you guys what the final result looks like. All right, so everything is installed. Full bumper on. The only thing I don't have on is the bottom section of the bumper, which is the last step. But everything up top, the hood clearance, all of that is taken care of, and the headlights are actually all adjusted. So as you can see, fits all nicely. The only thing is I have a gap here, which I already had previously, so I'm not too worried about it. But that's just something that my car has. I don't know if anybody else has this issue. But as far as the headlights goes, they are adjusted correctly now, and they sit pretty much perfect. To adjust the headlights, as far as position goes, you do have to mess with, I'll show you guys on the factory ones. You gotta mess with these 2 down here, this one, and the top one. So all 4 of those need to be loose. And to adjust it, you have to go in the fender well. There's one here, and there's one back there that you can't really see. And there's a 10 mil up top to adjust the position. So after you get the position right, obviously tighten everything down, and this is what it should look like when it's all plugged in and tight. You don't want to have weird gaps anywhere. These headlights don't have any gaps. Fitment is perfect. So I am very, very satisfied with the install so far. The only thing I would say is the harness. The harness doesn't reach because it's like on a zip tie. So you have to remove that zip tie back there and then get the harness to extend a little bit. And then after you put the harness on, you can put your fender liner back on. This side, same thing as far as adjustment. The only thing that's different is you have a giant harness here, which has to be moved a little bit more than the other side. And there's a zip tie somewhere in this area in the engine bay that has to be removed to get the harness far enough to plug in. But as you can see, it's plugged in. And the reason why you have to move the harness is because factory is here, the aftermarket ones are right here. So the distance between here and here is what makes you swap the harness position. Besides that, it looks very good. Looks aggressive. It's not too much. It's not like crazy. I think like crazy like Bay Optics and things like that, but it's just right amount of aggression for this car, I think. As far as the lights go, I will show you guys the light output when it's dark, and then we'll do the coding, which I'll explain how to do coding. If I can't figure it out, then I will leave a link down below for the coding guy that I use that can take care of you as far as coding, and it's not gonna take that long. All you have to have is a computer with an Ethernet adapter, I believe, for the person that codes the car to have access, and then he can code out the adaptive function, because I do have a fault for that.